Hey traders and investors, it's Serge Berger here. One of the big pain trades over the past 12 to 15 months has been the energy sector with oil and anything related to it basically just getting absolutely decimated. But I'm seeing initial signs that this trade may be reversing and might be able to give us some really good opportunities for the fourth quarter. So let's have a look at the charts and see what's going on. Basically, I'm going to start off with the USO, which is just a ETF basically that represents the crude oil, that's the crude oil market in dollars, of course. And you can see basically the price action here has been very ugly. So let's look at it on a weekly basis. And you can see that essentially from the downtrend, that the real steep downtrend that started in the summer of 2015, 2014, I should say, that downtrend, if we just kind of connect the majority of the dots, you see is starting to break to the upside for the first time more meaningfully. And not only that, but also if you look at this a little bit more closely, you can see that we are now bumping into a line of resistance that previously offered a lot of support. So we're coming into this blue area here for the first time meaningfully, and we look to now have a better chance of actually piercing above it. Now we haven't yet done so meaningfully, but we are starting to put in better signs. We're starting to break this downtrend. Now taking a step back from a macro perspective, keep in mind that we are starting to see the US dollar ease off a little bit. Some of the pessimism in the energy sector has actually probably been overdone. In fact, a lot of the institutional guys that I do talk to on a weekly basis have basically, a lot of them capitulated in the third quarter, and they're now actually looking they're actually not looking at all in the energy sector where they're just basically discussing it. So with a lot of investors being flushed out of the energy sector finally after 15 months, the question begs, what's the path of least resistance if there's no more sellers or very few left? The path of least resistance by definition should at least be sideways, if not higher. And I argue it's going to be probably to the upside. So if we then look at something like the OIH, which represents the oil services stocks, you see a very similar picture develop here. Not surprisingly, oil and oil services and oil-related stocks, of course, have been very much trading in sync. And you can see here the picture is very much the same. Again, we're coming into lateral resistance here, very much the same picture. Let's look at this all a little bit more through the lens of candlesticks. And you can see that basically with the OIH in the USO ETF, again, representing oil services stocks and the price of light sweet crude oil, respectively, you can see from a weekly candlestick perspective, we had a lot of bullish reversals here in late August with the broader market flush in equities. And then we made a higher low in the latter part of September, and then we had a follow through buying so far this week. So we're seeing bullish reversal followed by bullish follow throughs. Now, to be fair, I think a lot of these things are actually quite overextended here in the immediate term, but I wouldn't be surprised if after a little bit of a pause, we might be able to squeeze higher. You can look at single name stocks in this space as well. Look at an SLB, which is Schlumberger, very similar chart pattern here. A lot of bullish reversals one in August and one again last week, follow through buying this week. So starting to look quite interesting on a daily basis. A lot of these things are giving us initial pushes above certain moving average. So again, let's look at the OIH, for example. You can see pushing above the 50-day moving average for the first time in some time. Same thing for the USO. It's breaking above its 50-day. And looks like it has a lot of potential here into the 102-day moving average. These are just reference points. I want to make sure that people don't use moving averages for sort of absolute specific levels, but use them as reference points. And you can see that the USO here actually is even developing what I would refer to technically as sort of bull wedge or bull flag pattern. You can draw these many ways. The point is it's kind of bullish. After initial rally, we consolidate, and now we're looking to go higher. So I hope this makes sense, guys. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.